Over the past 10 years of hunting and filming professionally, my journey has evolved. I once sought animals and adventure, and I still seek those things. Yet now more than ever, I seek answers around the growing questions that surround myself as a hunter. I've found that my connection to the land brings a certain clarity to the rest of my life. This is what brings me back into high country. The older I've become, the more I take this time to look back on the steps I took that led me to this point. I've realized that it all has to come together. Every little step throughout the day culminates to that moment of getting the shot that you're after. Hunting always seems to come down to a matter of inches or seconds. Little things can make the difference. When I cut my tag, I think back on that stuff. There's a rhyme and a reason to it all. Well, it's really kind of our first day back in the area to focus on mule deer. So we're just kind of using the county road the best we can to drive around and glass into a bunch of this country and try to find where most of the deer are so we can really start digging in. I feel like the rut is just getting going here. We just filmed a really nice buck back here, but it's just early, I think, and I'd like to see what else is running around, but man, he's a beautiful buck. Deer are really moving now, so it's exciting. Hopefully we can find one click bigger than that, because that was tempting, that's for sure. Pretty nice. Some years it seems like I really have to grind it out to find a buck that I want to take. And some years I don't. Almost immediately, we found a buck that I knew I would be happy to put my tag on. The only problem was, I saw him at the exact same time he saw me. Things can happen quick out here in this big open country. Once you make a mistake, there's really no way you can recover from it. Sometimes you just have to know when you've been beat and learn from it. Oh, you want to talk about getting caught with your pants down. That's by far the best buck we've seen. We didn't get any video of him or anything because it happened so fast. By the time we saw him, he was moving. Just nothing we could do. Just wasn't meant to be, I guess. Man, he looks pretty. I think we found the does that this buck was with. We had him found this morning at daylight, and some elk hunters came through, kind of bumped him. They took off running, went into the timber, and I think we just located his does, so he should be there. We're gonna hike up on this hill. The good part about open country is once you've found a buck, it's typically easier to stay on him out here. It's a patience game no matter what. You have to sit back and watch the buck and wait for him to make a mistake. It's kind of like in the movies when you see a bank get robbed. The bad guys wait for just the right moment in time when everything lines up perfectly before they go in. And deer hunting's no different. Where the pavement ends, on X begins. Using the terrain is key out here. One of the biggest things is staying below the skylines as best as possible, as a deer can see something on a skyline from miles away. And even after all of that, they can still disappear, right before your eyes. Yeah, I can't see him. We've come around this hill here. I can see a bunch of the does bedded, but I can't see him. I don't know where he went, and I'm afraid of making the wrong move from here. So at this point, all I could do was remember where I last saw him and come back at daylight. God, that's pretty. Never gets old. The next morning I found the buck in the fog. He was moving in a steady pace the opposite direction, but I knew where we could get around him and have a good chance of getting close. Out here you have to use any little bit of cover you can, even if it's one little bush at a time. fur on him. Did you see that first bullet was a misfire? What the heck? We got him, buddy. We got him. I didn't want to have to take a running shot, but my first shell misfired. I can see the dot on the primer. Man, it is cold this morning. We have been playing cat and mouse with this big old buck for 3 days. And we finally came in here, finally had a little bit of a plan, but I mean, he is smart. I had a good shot on him here broadside, and my frickin' bullet misfired on me. And by then the does heard something, took off running. I didn't want to have to take a running shot, but he was just trotting at 100 yards. I knew I could hit him. And he's down. Beautiful buck down. Yes. November 10th. New 270. Oh yes, my hands are freezing. It's funny how fast, I always say it, you go from just hunting your tail off to sitting behind the animal you've been hunting. And this is him. Big old blocky face on him. Roman nose, just a beautiful deer. Hunting the rut out here in eastern Montana. Man, what a dandy. This spot is so special to me. I shot my first mule deer buck not far from where we're sitting here at all when I was 12 years old. And coming out here with my dad and George, which are out here, they're actually hunting just back over the ridge here, which is so cool. I can't wait to get back and show them this deer. As much as we had hunted this deer and been on him, we could never get video. I mean, he was always so cagey. He'd be out of there before we knew we even were in the area. And here he is. Every time I get done with a hunt, I reflect on the steps that it took to get me there. And since I've been 12 years old, I've been going through those motions in these plains in eastern Montana. Over those years, I've learned a thing or two. This hunt isn't just about getting a buck. It's about so much more than that. As many deer as we've taken off of this landscape, that's provided a lot of meals. It's provided a lot of memories and a chance for me to connect with my father and my sons now. These plains represent so much to me. And each and every time I punch my tag, it's hard not to reflect back on all that.